Happy Thanksgiving, my friends. What's going on? Yeah, I'm running. My injury, my hip seems to be much better. It's not hurting. Now, actually, my hamstrings have been hurting a little bit because of the Zwift racing. I say racing, but I'm racing myself. I tell you, those workouts are pretty intense. I did supposed to be a 1 hour workout, but I think they figure out the times based on the really good riders, because it always takes me much longer than the time it says, but maybe another 10 or 15 minutes. But they're 1 hour on Zwift is really tough. I thought 30 minutes was tough because you're always pushing yourself. You know, I think the 1 hour I did it was an event, or it's basically a race. You have to finish it to get credit for it. So it was 19 miles. It took me like an hour and 15 minutes. Hey, Jay Jordan, man. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Hope you're doing well in Georgia, my friend. Texas is a little bit cold. That's why I got a coat on. It's warming up, though. Yeah, same to you, man. If you guys haven't checked out the Jay Jordan's channel, you got to check him out. Dude is an expert in so many things. Working out, burpees, bowling, running. He's good at everything. Boxing. Hey, we got a big boxing match coming up in December. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul's got a small chance. Very small chance. But we'll see. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Hiking and jogging right now. Anyways, I was talking about Zwift. Man, that's intense. Doing a 1 hour workout on Zwift. Because it was 19 miles, but it's basically 6 laps, 6 or 7 laps in France. Oh man, you're at a high level, dude. You can kill me on burpees. But on the Zwift route in France, on this route you had 4 sprints. One long cobblestone sprint, which seemed like, I guess it was really only like a third or fourth of a mile, but it seemed really long. And then a couple short ones. And you know the way it is, you want to do good in the sprint, so you really power up the sprint. The thing is, the next lap you're going to be racing yourself again, and it's easy to know what you did the previous lap because they have these robo pacers. Basically, they're riders that look clear, you can see them, but one of them's representing your time from the previous lap. So you're racing yourself, and then the next lap, they usually have it's always 2. After you get further into the event, you'll have 2 robo pacers representing your 2 best previous times. And you want to stay ahead of them. So late in the event, man, you really get tired. So yeah, I'm planning on starting burpees again too. I've been doing push-ups. I have a push-up program on my phone, which I like a lot. And the main reason is I thought I was injuring myself in my legs, but burpees are hard on me because, you know, I'm 200 plus pounds. So I think the jump backs always hurt me. Oh man, thanks Jay Jordan. That's nice of you, man. I was always worried that the burpees were hurting my hamstrings and stuff because I had hamstring surgery, like I had hamstring surgery like a year and a half, 2 years ago. But I think that's all BS. I think it doesn't hurt me. I did some burpees recently, and I think they might actually help my hip because when I was doing burpees, I didn't have any hip problems. So I think it was all mental. Yeah, when we were over 200, man, I'm a little heavy right now. I need to lose about 10, but my ideal weight's probably like 195. I'm almost 6 foot tall. So I got big legs from running for so long. I really like to get down to 195. That's a good weight for me. But when you're a big runner or a big guy doing burpees and stuff, boy, really, it's physics, man. It makes it much harder. But I'm planning on doing it. I really been working hard on my push-ups. I have a push-up app, and I do at least 40 or 50 a day. And they're usually 1 or 2 sets continuous. Before I was doing a lot more than that, but I was doing like small quantities throughout the day. This is much harder, I think. The nice thing about the push-up app too, it counts your reps with the camera on your phone. Yeah, we just got to work on it. Running and endurance and calisthenics, it really helps us get in better shape. Well, it's definitely getting colder. I'm sure it's cold in Georgia too. When I went out this morning, it was like 45. I think it's gone up a lot. It's probably, I'm already like 3 miles in or something. I think it's probably in the 50s now. But I've got short sleeves on today. I wore a long sleeve shirt with a jacket. I have a sleeveless jacket on. And it got a little bit hot yesterday. That's the thing is, if it's cloudy, it stays cool. But once the sun comes out, it spikes up like 15 degrees. Yeah, the app is cool. I use the Push app. It's PUU, 2U, SH app. I've tried so many of them. There are a lot of free apps that do it. This one's also free, but if you wanted to keep a history and write programs for you, and it just works much better if you get the paid one. It's like 20 bucks a year or something like that. And I've been happy with it. No problems with it. It's got free programs where it'll just start and you can do as many as you want, which is what I usually use. And then it'll work out a program for you where it pushes you more every time. But I was doing that for a while, but it was just pushing me too hard, and I couldn't figure out how to make it chill out some. So I just do the free program where, what I mean free is you can do 20, you can do 25, you can do whatever you want. And then it's got some programs where you can tell it you want to do 20, and when it gets to 20, it stops. You know, stuff like that. It's cool. Yeah, it's not bad. And I use it every day, so. The main thing is if you get the paid one, it keeps the history for you. And it keeps moving you up different levels. I think I'm like a master level now. Basically on your consistency and how many you do over time, and have just different levels. And the other thing I like is it pushes the data to Strava. So on my Strava, it can show basically my calisthenics, my push-ups. I wish they had one for burpees too. But works pretty good. Because Strava is my main app. I keep my cycling, my Zwift, my running, hiking, my ski erg, which is my Nordic skiing machine. I'm doing that every day too, at least 1,000 meters. And I think that's what's helping my hip. Because I started to have a soreness in my left hip, and I could figure out what's wrong. So I started thinking about, what have I not been doing that I did before? And one of them was the ski machine. Ski machine, you kind of it's like cross-country skiing. It unzip my coat a little bit, it's getting hot. When you cross-country ski, you're using your hip like a joint, like a flexible joint. So it's working out my hip also. So push-ups, ski machine. I'm doing the Zwift, which is really intense cycling workout. And then hiking, also some jogging and running. My plan was not to jog or run until the beginning of the year, but now that my hip is feeling okay, I've been doing some jogging. I did some jogging. Well, when I started the video, I was doing some jogging. And my supplements, I'm being consistent about that. I did trim them down I've taken my creatine down from 10 grams to 5 grams because my injury seems to be okay now. I was top loading my creatine. So, but the problem with creatine is it puts on too much weight. I don't care what the experts say it does. Everyone knows it does. If you're on creatine, you're gonna add 2 or 3, 4 pounds just in water weight. So I've trimmed it down. Yeah, I remember when you did those challenges. I think that's really good. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Maybe I should start that. I remember when you were doing that. Every day was something different. I think you didn't you do like a 12 days of Christmas or something like that before too? Something like that, where you did different exercises on each day of the, yeah, because December's coming up. I'm gonna have to do some program. I'm gonna be racing on a ski machine. They have a Christmas event coming up. That's another cool thing is my ski machine, my computer on my ski machine sends the data to Concept 2, and then Concept 2 sends it to Strava. But on Concept 2, which makes the machine, they're based in New Hampshire, I think. They have leagues and contests worldwide. And it's kind of cool. You can compete at skiing against these countries that, have skiing. Texas, we don't have skiing. But yeah. Yeah, I remember you doing that. Yeah, the Christmas holidays is coming up. We have to do something every day or... I'm also lifting weights a lot. Yesterday I didn't lift any weights. I was mostly still organizing my gym because I completely redid it because I added another rack in there. But my son was doing bench press and I got him to 90 pounds, which is, his PR at school was only 80. So he's at 90. And my goal is to get him up to 1 plate, which would be 90 plus 45. Yeah, my goal is to get him to 135 before he starts spring semester. So I think it's possible. Definitely I'll get him there before 8th grade. They're lifting weights at school too, but really focusing on squat and bench press because he plays defense. He's a linebacker. So, and he may move to defensive end. But strength is really important for him. Yeah, I remember y'all did that Holy Grail, man. I really don't know how y'all did that. I was like, wasn't that like 1,000 burpees or something? I think you did it a couple times. I never could do that. I think the most burpees I've ever done at one time is I did the 20-minute challenge, and I think I got like 70 or something like that. That's just regular burpees. That was really intense. Oh, you did it 6 times. Wow. That's something else. I may try to do that next year. I got to get back in the burpees though. I was doing it every day before work when I was going to the office, but now I'm just at home and I'm really more focused on weightlifting. Because I have my son's working out and also trying to get my daughter working out too. So weightlifting, hiking, running, and then my main project for next year is Cocodona, which is a long ultra event. So, but I think burpees were helping my flexibility. And also I'm doing mobility exercises. I didn't do them last night because we had some friends visiting, but I think those are helping too. I'm stretching my hip. I learned a bunch of hip mobility exercises. And I think the push-ups, because you're doing planks when you do push-ups, and then the ski machine, you're hinging your hip, and I'm doing the mobility exercises. But the nice thing about the burpees is, you got to flare your legs back out, and that was the one I always concerned I was going to injure my hamstrings, but I don't think there's a risk of that anymore. But I think there's a lot of benefit in burpees because you're really working out it's a full body exercise is what I'm trying to say. So I have to work on that. So, oh, cool. I'm at the main entrance of my subdivision now. They put some new lights. They put some new lights here, which are very much needed. Unfortunately, someone got killed here not too long ago. It's just too many people living in the area now. It used to be where if you wanted to go to the grocery store, you'd have to drive 10 minutes. Now there's a supermarket almost walking distance from my house. And they're building a bunch of stores and restaurants. They have built a bunch since already. I wish they'd build a damn Starbucks. It's the only thing they don't have. They got like 73 coffee, and I think they got Black Rifle coming in, which might be okay. I just want them to build like a Starbucks. Maybe the Black Rifle will be like that. They're supposed to open in January. I want a coffee shop that I can go and sit down and work sometimes, you know, make calls and stuff. Because when you work from home and your kids are at home, it's hard because they're making a bunch of noise. You might have, you know, washing machine, dryer on, all kinds of things. It's just hard to have phone calls sometimes. Plus, you just get tired of working from home. So I'm hoping that they'll open up a Starbucks in this new shopping mall. I know they got Black Rifle coffee coming in. They got one drive-through coffee, but there's no place to sit. And this gives me some other place to go, you know, because you get bored working from the same place. Actually, when I worked at the office, I did the same thing. I'd go to Starbucks sometimes. We'll see. Yeah, so I've been watching a bunch of videos on the Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul fight. All the experts chiming in. Of course, everybody says he's going to get killed, which probably going to happen. Not killed literally, but get knocked out in the first round probably. But you know, I follow all sports, and let me take football for example. Alabama should never lose a game. They got the best recruiting every year, and they usually beat everybody, but sometimes they get beat by bad teams. Look at Indiana, such a terrible football team for so long. They get a good coach, and now they're ranked number 2 in the country. Indiana, it's a basketball school. Suddenly they're a football school. So anyone can beat anyone on a given day. That's what I say. So is Jake Paul going to win? No, probably not. Probably has a less than 5% chance. Oh, thanks for joining, man. But all these experts saying, you know, Jake Paul is cruiserweight, which is like 200 range, 200 to, I think 200, from like 195 to 220, I think is cruiserweight, something like that. But Anthony Joshua is huge, 6'6", 250 pounds. I think in the last fight he was 252. And the dude's looks like he's got under 10% body fat. I mean, he's just solid muscle. And when you're in that good of shape and you're 250 pounds, you're a monster. Just a big dude. I mean, at the press conference, he was standing next to Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul's like 6'1", maybe 6 foot. He made Jake Paul look small. So I think it's a David and Goliath type fight, of course. But kudos to Jake Paul for stepping in the ring, because he's got all the money in the world. He doesn't need the money. Anthony Joshua probably needs the money because, you know, he's in his late 30s, but his boxing career probably only has a few more years. Or maybe longer than that. But when you're going to make $40, $50 million for one fight, I mean, who wouldn't do that? So kudos to both of them. But Jake Paul, if he can get in there and last, it's 8 rounds. If he can get in there and last 4 or 5 rounds and still lose, I think people give him a lot more respect. And that's what he wants. He wants to be, because he's a professional boxer. People still think of him as a YouTuber, but, you know, he's ranked like in top 50 in cruiserweight. And he's beat some pretty tough fighters. Of course, a lot of them are older. Tyson Fury, not Tyson Fury, his brother, I forget his name. His brother beat him, but he's a good boxer. So I don't know. He's a small chance, but if he can get in there and last a lot of the fight, and this is on Netflix, everybody in the world's gonna be watching it. He'll do a lot of things for him. But if he gets in there and gets knocked out in 15 seconds, his career's over. So kudos for Jake Paul for being, he's a dumbass, but being brave enough to get in the ring with Anthony Joshua. So what else is going on? JFK 50 miler was the past weekend. Hans Troyer won. You know, I made that guy famous with my finish line video at Bandera, even though he doesn't give me credit for that. But now everybody knows who Hans Troyer is. He comes from Atlanta, Georgia, Jay Jordan area. But he's a really good runner. He won the JFK 50, which is up north. And the history of the JFK 50 is very interesting. Back in, I think it's 1963, JFK wanted the military to be in really good shape. So he wanted to have 50 milers in the US in different places. And this one was up in Massachusetts. And his goal was, he said, all military people should run 50 miles in under 20 hours. So, and what I can do, I can make you a I made you a moderator, Jay Jordan. I just learned how to do that like a few days ago. That's kind of cool. Well, anyways, the JFK 50 was started in 1963. John F. Kennedy, I think it's the same year he got assassinated, wanted military people to run, be able to run 50 miles in under 20 hours. And then they actually started several 50 milers all over the US. But after time, the JFK 50 is the only one that remained. Of course, there's a lot of 50 milers all over the US now, but the government started this in 1963. The only one that was left is the one that we're talking about. I appreciate it, Jay Jordan, man. Yeah, my friends, if you haven't checked out Jay Jordan's channel, you gotta check it out, man. He's cool. Anyways, Hans Troyer set a new course record, and also Jade, the female, I forget her last name, but both of them are coached by David and Megan Roach, the best coaches out in running. Megan coaches Jade, and David coaches Hans. So, but don't forget, I made Hans famous. And he went out there and broke the record in Ultra Vanish, I think, which is not that great of a shoe. So kudos to him. You know, when you see these top runners out there setting records in shoes that they have to wear because they're sponsored, and still, you know, same thing with Tara and Javelina. She won in ultras. But you know, in Hans' case, he used to wear large drop shoes, you know, and ultra is zero drop. They do have some with drops, but because they're trying to copy Hoka now. You probably think I'm not a big fan of ultra. I'm not. I think they're really a bunch of jerks. I've dealt with them before at trade shows and stuff, and really, they angered me when they changed the temp, which I wore for many years, and the Olympus, which I wore from version 3 to version 5. They came out with the Olympus 6, which sucked, and I gave it a bad review, and they didn't like that. They actually got a new Olympus out called the 240, I think it is, which stands for the temperature that they mold the shoes, which is kind of an interesting name, but it's got a new upper. I'm tempted to try it out because I do like the Olympus. I'm just not a fast person. I like the protection of the Olympus. Hey, Mango Haven, thanks for joining, man. I'm in Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas. Actually, town north of Austin called Georgetown. But we were talking about Ultra shoes. But you got to give the team manager for Ultra a lot of credit. I forget his name. They talked about it on Single Track. He's really brought in some good athletes, and they're winning, and they're winning on inferior shoes. I mean, their shoes are okay, but they're not the best. But you take Hans Troyer, for example. He previously worked for Fleet Feet, which is a, you know, a shoe store, you know. He worked for Fleet Feet in Atlanta, I believe, or the town that he lives in near Atlanta. So he could wear any brand that he wanted. And when he won Bandera 100K, he was wearing Saucony. So that's like a 8mm drop. So you got him in high level shoes, and then you have to switch him to a little more inferior shoes, Ultras, which have 0 drop. I mean, he's wearing the Mont Blancs. I think some of their shoes have drop now. I know their road shoes have, some of them have 4mm drop, but the ones he's wearing are 0 drop. So interesting. $200. Help me, please. Huh. I'm not no rich dude, man. You gotta start posting videos and make some money, man. It's hard on YouTube to make money. I don't do it for money. I just do it for fun. But you post some hip videos, man, you can make that pretty fast. What do you need $200 for? Well, you got, we had a friend on here not too long ago that was trying to open up a restaurant. So what kind of what are you gonna do with $200? You gonna spend it on gaming? That's what my son would do. He got $100 yesterday, and I told him to save it, and he spent it all on gaming, buying some new weapons for Valorant or something. So well, I'm gonna lose signal soon, my friends, and just want everyone to have a great Thanksgiving. I may go live later. I'm gonna be working in my gym. You know, I'm setting up that second gaming computer. I'm taking one gaming computer out of my daughter's room. She's using a laptop now. I'm gonna use that to run my live stream camera in my, so we're gonna be rocking. I'm gonna be doing live streams in the gym. I won't have to use my mobile phone anymore. It's just hard to do because my gym is so big. That's gonna be happening soon, maybe this week. But anyways, everyone have a great Thanksgiving. Stay safe, and talk to you soon, my friends. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Jay Jordan, you have a great day, man. Enjoy your hike. If I get back in time, I'll join your live stream. Here, my friends. Bye-bye.